Hi, Julia Watts here. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. So today I thought we'd have a little play with some Fairy Hugs papers and stamps. I wanted to follow on from a demo that I did on Create and Craft using the Fairy Teacup from Fairy Hugs and various different things that we can do with it. So we're going to, I mean, it's all very well doing this, but you need to see what you can do with it, you know, in a scene. So we're going to do this kind of thing. And I've selected a paper from the Petalshimmer paper pad. All the products I'm using are available on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, for shipping to the UK addresses. Otherwise, you can buy them from fairyhugs.com for shipping worldwide. So I've selected this paper from the Petalshimmer. And so we're going to stamp the teacup. So the teacup's going to go about there, and we're going to have it standing on the mushroom table. So let's just, I mean, we've got a little bit of blue going on there, but let's perhaps ground it a little bit more. So let's just take just a torn piece of card, and we'll bring in some distress ink. Actually, I think we'll stay with the colour scheme, and we'll bring in some Villainous Potion, and we just want to just highlight that area a little bit there, and then I'll find that I put it in a totally different place. So I mean, these papers are designed by Shu Min, who's on the design team, and they are ink on jelly plate backgrounds. So most of the work's done for you already. So that's just a little bit of Villainous Potion, and I do tend to use distress ink rather than oxides, just because I think stamping on top is so much easier when you do that. Let's clear up that little mess there. Okay, and let's start stamping. I'm going into my press to impress platform and pop it like so. Now, so we need to actually stamp the teacup first, which is always a little bit tricky because of your placement. So we know that we're going to have the mushroom table about there, and so our teacup is going to go about there. Okay. Ooh. Dropsies. 97 million magnets. Now this paper is it's really good quality. It's 216 GSM. It's double-sided, and there's 24 designs, 2 sheets of each. So you know, you can use each side once, or if you've got a favourite or one you don't like, you know, you can choose between the two. So let's stamp our teacup, and let's I think we'll go for a colour rather than doing it in black. So we've got loads of reds and different colours in the background, so let's go for Glamorous Versifying Clear, and let's see what this looks like. This is a lovely deep red. It might have a bit of black in it because my stamp's dirty. Tap, 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 tap. And I do find actually that quite often, because of these papers aren't super absorbent like your watercolour card, that you can get away with just the first stamp a lot of the time, depending on how recently you've used your stamp. Let's see. Is it perfect? Absolutely perfect. Love that. Okay. So we're going to mask this off, but before I mask it off, I'm going to just give, because we're doing Versifying Clear and it stays wet quite a while, and this isn't super absorbent card, I'm just going to give this a blast, and then we'll continue masking and stamping. Okay, a quick blast from my heat tool, and we're back in the press. Now the paper has kind of buckled a little bit, but it will settle down as it cools down, so there's nothing to worry about at all. So this is a piece of masket sheet from Woodware, and I've just cut slightly into the baseline here of the fairy teacup, and I was messing around with the top as well, but that's not necessary. You only need, I'm only interested in the bottom. If you put it back onto its carrier sheet, you can keep on using it. So the reason why I blasted it as well, so I don't smudge it, is also that the ink doesn't transfer to my masket sheet, because if it does, and if I was wanting to use it again, then I could actually contaminate another piece that I was doing, and I don't want to do that. So let's take our mushroom table. And we can do this in two ways. We could have it so that it was upside down like that, so it's like a pedestal, but we're actually going to have it sat on the table like so. Okay, and we're going to stamp this in, let's stamp it in black. So we go with some Nocturne VersaFine Clear. Tap, 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 tap. Give it a good old press. Give the ink a chance to go into the card. And if you let it release, there we go. And then when we remove this, you can see that it's sitting on the table. Win-win. Put this back on the carrier so we can use it again. And I tend to keep it in the pack with my teacup as well, so it's not lost. Right, so next we're going to have something perched on the teacup. So with the teacup, the same with the stacked teacups, within the tea and coffee range, you could have Nigel perched on the edge. I mean, and these are stacked teacups, but exactly the same with the fairy teacup. You could have Eloise, you could have Anne-Marie here. You can also bring in Sheldon the dragon. There's also Peeking Alfred that you could have in there. So we could bring him in wherever he is. So here he is. So you could have him peeking over the top, like so. He's perfect for it. But we're going to go with a girly. We're going to go with our Peeking Tory. And there are definitely other stamps, like Azalea, Moana would probably work as well. There's quite a few different stamps, and some of the new ones that are coming out in the end of May. They will fit beautifully as well. So we're not going to bother masking. We're just going to have her. See if I can see. She's a dirty stamp, so I can see exactly where she's going, which is good. She can either go there, or she can actually go just on the edge there. So she's peeking from the inside over. That's the theory anyway. If she's straight. This is faff, 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 faff. Okay, so let's stamp her, and she's going to be in black as well. Just shows she stands out. Now with the silhouettes, you're more likely to need to stamp them twice, so that the colour's nice and deep and rich. If you do get any kind of, when they're new, if you get any pooling on your stamp, if you're using your VersaFines and it still pools, that's just some manufacturing residue that's left over, and you just clean your stamp, re-ink, and you're good to go. So there's no need to worry about it. It's not a faulty stamp. So she's pretty good, just a little bit gappy. So I'm only going to concentrate on the silhouette area. This is the good thing about stamping platforms. There she is, peeking over the edge of a teacup. So, I mean, that looks fantastic, doesn't it? That would make a wonderful tag just as it is. But let's dress it up. Let's make a proper scene out of it. Let's put Tory back. Now we have got teacup flowers within this collection, the tea and coffee collection, but part of the birthday release was the Cupcake Flowers. But of course we're doing tea and coffee, so I thought that it'd be nice to bring in the Cupcake Flowers as well. Let's move this around a little bit and let's bring in some Cupcake Flowers. So they can be coming in. You can have them tall or just off the edge is quite good. Let's do one at a time on this side. Let's have a magnet right there. And I'm going to go, let's see, let's go for a different colour. Let's go for Charming Pink, or we could go for Monarch, which is a purple, or we could go for Purple Delight. Choices, choices, choices. I'll find my Purple Delight, otherwise we'll go for, yeah, let's go Purple Delight, which is a pinky purple. I do have all the VersaFine clairs in stock on my website, and it is nice to have the choice. I don't actually have all of them to work with myself yet. I tend to pull them out when I know I want to use them. I'm just going to give it a little bit more. These stamps haven't been used since the birthday collection, because I tend to, when you've got so many, you tend to forget what else came before. So it's really nice to use them. There's one. It's the big one. And let's bring in the other one, which is a slightly different type of cupcake. And we bring that one in just under the table here. And if you wanted to, you could actually mask off the bottom there, so it was actually stood on the hill that you've made. There's lots of different things you can do. Again, with my Purple Delight. And I'll probably need to do this one again, just so the depth of colour is the same as the other one. I might bring them in again on the other side as well. I haven't decided. This is the full 6x6 piece. I usually do cut them down a bit, but I haven't cut this one down yet. Sometimes it's good to work with the whole thing rather than restrict yourself to a size. So those are my Cupcake Flowers. And I thought what we could do down here is that we've got these are the bunnies. Now these aren't the mini hares, which look similar from the Mini World collection. These bunnies were out, I think they were in the birthday collection as well. So there's 3 bunnies looking right and left, and 3 different sizes. So these are one of the cheaper stamp sets because they're the tiny ones. So I thought it would be quite cool to have a little bunny looking up to see what Tory's up to, because he's so sweet. And while we're at it, let's stamp a sentiment. So I'm thinking that we're going to have life is a teacup, filled to the brim, and hang on, I think it says enjoyed with friends, and enjoyed with friends. Yes, so let's have our life is a teacup there, like so. So I'm thinking I actually might trim it down like so. Let's see if we can get that. I think it's straight. Everything's always ish. Everything's ish. Right, so we stamp these at the same time. Oh, I could have done this and I forgot. We could have put some of this T-word collage just in the background somewhere, but I forgot, so we're not doing that. Maybe next time. I quite often do that. I get all my stamps out, I think, right, we'll use this, and this, and then completely forget. So perhaps we'll have our bunny in brown. Let's have our bunny in acorn. So we're choosing a few different colours because we don't always have to stamp in black. I do tend to, and I have to kind of tell myself off and stop myself from doing it. And we're going for black with the sentiment. Oop, everything's falling over. Oh, as always. Make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. Again, I might need to do the bunny again because he's a silhouette, and I've not stamped him for a little while. Oh no, he's absolutely fine. I think he's good to go, and our sentiment looks pretty good too. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just trim it a little bit, and then we'll just finish off. Okay, so I've trimmed down, and we're at 4 3/4 inches wide and 5 3/4 inches tall. I've also added just a little bit of colour to Tory in the teacup and the mushroom table here, and on the stars of the cupcake, just using the Sentimental Yours watercolour blending brush pens. It's totally up to you. You absolutely don't have to colour it in if you don't want to. So I'm thinking here it might be nice to have another little friend come in, because we are talking about friends. So I'm going to go into the mini caterpillars from the Mini World collection. I think we'll have a little caterpillar coming in here as well. And what colour to do him? Let's have a green caterpillar. I think that might be good. So let's go for rainforest, I think. One of the solids. You get in the set, you get 6. You get 3 solids and 3 open caterpillars. So that's just going to go here like so. He does look quite dark. He's probably got a bit of black on him as well, but he is a dark green caterpillar. Because I don't clean my stamps. So that just looks, I just think that fills it up a little bit more, and so that corner's all dealt with. So we'll just finish off by bringing some foliage in at the top. So we go out of our platform now and bring in a scrap of paper. And I'm going to go for my super all-time favourite stamp of the moment, which is this stamp here that belongs to the Forest Flowers collection, which again is from the Mini World collection. There are lots of foliage stamps within Fairy Hugs, some of which would be just as perfect, but this one's available, so this is the one I'm going to use. So colour to use, let's bring a pink in. So let's go for Charming Pink, I think. And we're just going to bring some into the corners. So we just have some there. Bring in a bit like so. And then we bring in some on the other corner as well. Obviously this isn't quite as obvious because the background paper is darker there. Oh, let's go for it. Let's bring in some in the middle as well, just in between Tory. Like so. I think we're done. Okay, so be careful not to smudge anything. I think I am going to go around the edges though, and we'll go around with some oxide, and we'll go with Kitsch Flamingo just to finish it off. Just dragging the ink pad just around the edges. Careful not to smudge anything, and this will give kind of a chalky edge to it, which I quite like. Okay, it's only very subtle, but it's there. Kitsch Flamingo is one of my colours I have out all of the time. So just finish this off, and we'll pop it onto some black card. So I just go up in 1/4 inches. So my black card is measured at 5 3/4 by, nope, 6 by 5, because my actual paper is 5 3/4 by 4 3/4. You can see the other design on the back. It's almost criminal to cover it over, but remember there's 2 sheets of each, so you can do another project on the other sheet that's like this one. So as soon as you pop it onto the black card, it all pops, it all works. Using the Sentimental Yours glue. You saw how much I did or didn't use on there. And we've got a little bit of wiggle room. It's a good old press. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off the bottom because it's a little bit too big down the bottom. Happy with that now, couldn't live with that. And then we're just going to pop it onto a card blank. So my card blank is 5 1/2 by 6 1/2. Just to finish it off. So I'm actually pressing the nozzle into card, so I know I'm not getting too much glue out. I think we all used to be scared of using wet glue, but as long as you don't use too much, it's perfect. So this is going on there. Like so. I'm going to turn it over, give it a good press so I don't put my fingers in all of the ink that's not 100% dry yet. And there we have it. A little scene with Tory and the Fairy Teacup. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Do check out my other videos. There's loads and loads of videos on my channel and lots to do with fairy hugs as well. If you don't subscribe, it'd be wonderful if you did, and if you like and comment on a video, that would be absolutely wonderful. And when we reach 1,000 subscribers, we'll be able to do some live streams on YouTube, which would be absolutely wonderful. Don't forget, all products are available from juliewattscrafts.co.uk. I am the only UK stockist at the moment, outside of when shows are actually on Create and Craft. So do check out my Fairy Hugs stamps and stencils and papers on there. And if you're outside the UK, you can get the products from fairyhugs.com. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.